G'day everyone, welcome back to Wheel2Wheel Racing. We are here for our season finale Super Enduro to round out Season 12 here at, of all tracks, the Nürburgring 24-hour layout. Should be quite an interesting one. Obviously, it's gotten the nickname the Green Hell for a reason, so I'm sure we'll see plenty of chaos throughout this one. But joining me here tonight in the commentary box is Zedi.
Hey, g'day everyone, g'day Dragon. Oh, it's so good to be back commentating with the Dragon's Den, especially when we have your lovely teammate on visuals tonight.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, kind of zoned out for a bit. Good to be here. Season finale. Nürburgring 24-hour layout. It's going to be a long one for our drivers. Well, it's going to feel like a long one. We should be racing for just above the 90-minute mark, but it's going to be 90 minutes of great racing.
You call it great racing, you really? With like this many corners and 15 different sectors, you guys put a lot of practice into this round, and you know, hats off to everyone who's racing this weekend. I'm not, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy both this race and the Div 1 boys from the comfort place of my couch.
Lucky you. We do have an interesting way that the grid has been set for this week. We won't be having a quali session here tonight. It has been set in championship order. So the Division 2 championship grid is going to see Flossie and CCH off the front row. We're going to see Squiddy and MCDC off the second if Squiddy shows up. He's not looking likely at the moment. It'll be Oily behind them, Jonesy, Midrisky, Dark Berserk, Dodgy, Brutal, Broken Spoke, and Tate starting at the back. So Tate starting at the back could be quite an interesting one, as we know he's got quite a bit of pace but doesn't get the chance to practice too often. The rest of the field, I would say, is about where they would belong.
Oh, I completely agree with you there, Dragon. Everyone's, with the exception of Tate, like, yeah, everyone's definitely where they belong. But you know, racing, especially around the Green Hell, is unpredictable. You know, we've got the famous Corbin corner. Hopefully he doesn't go off during Div 1. But this track always brings that unpredictability. And also, because it's the last season, this is the bragging rights for people who are finishing in P2 and P3. Flossie looks like it's definitely taking out Div 2 honours for this season. And also, it's the guys lower down in the last three, potentially dropping out of Div 2 back into Div 3. So, it's all to play for.
Yeah, quite a bit on the line. Brutal and Spoke separated by just 9 points. Dodgy and Dark Berserk with 2 points between them. Jonesy and Midrisky with 5 points between them. So there's a couple of little battles happening throughout the leaderboards that this race could very heavily affect.
Well, let's just
watch out for Tate. Zedi, watch out for Tate because he has informed me that this week he actually put in some practice more than usual. So expect Tate to cut his way to the field.
Well, since you know all the boys quite well there, Dragon, what's your predictions for tonight? Top three, in any order.
I mean, you can't go past Flossie. Corbin should be in with a chance, but I think he's going to have to take an alternate strategy here tonight with tyre wear. And for third, I'm going to go... I think MCDC is going to continue their good form and can sneak in a podium.
Oh, nice. And you there, Chris?
No, the usual affairs like Flossie, Corbin. Because Tate put in some practice, I'll expect Tate to be up there. Probably like take the last step or even second place. Flossie's just been unmatchable this season in Division 2. It's not even fair, actually. It should be in Division 1 by now. But
I offered to swap with him, but he kept turning it down. So,
we can swap next season. And However, because this is a very long track, I think this is the only track in Gran Turismo that takes you like eight or so minutes to do a lap. Anything can happen.
That's a bit of a get out free jail card there. I don't know. I have to agree. Yeah, Flossie definitely near the pointy end. I'm gonna say I'm gonna be a bit of a dark horse, but Jonesy, and I'm gonna say between Tate and Oily for P3.
There you go. Yeah, I'm not sure how Corbin's strategy is going to affect him. I did see him sitting on hard tyres earlier, so...
Yeah, he was.
Could be very interesting. Still is. As is Oily. So maybe those gentlemen looking for a two-stopper.
Yeah, 4 laps, providing that the tank can do 4 laps.
A lot of fuel saving.
Yeah, that's a lot of fuel saving, though.
Well, I'm not surprised Oily's going for an alternate strategy. That's typical Oil, Mr. Oil himself. But Corbin, interesting, especially the notorious Corbin corner. Be interesting to see how he goes.
Oh, last minute swap there from Oily onto soft tyres.
Oh. Interesting.
Oh, we only have to say we got, as you said, 90 minutes,
And
11
back to
laps. Oh, is Oily just playing a bit of a trick on us? Well, look, anything can happen in 90 minutes.
Yeah, 90 minutes, and it's a very hard track.
Yes, good luck to all our competitors tonight. There is going to be some entertaining racing. And I think the last question I have for you, there, Dragon, before they start, how many times is Corbin going to bin it at his corner?
I think he's not going to.
What?
I think he's going to bin it everywhere else. I think he's going to be extra cautious through that corner to avoid the highlight reel again, unfortunately. Or unfortunately for us, fortunately for him.
Yeah, but it's also because you're not racing ZD. When he messed up, you were there with him.
Well, someone's going to put pressure on him.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Cars
no quality,
on the
let's
grid.
just get straight into the action.
I think we should jump on with Jonesy in P5.
Yeah. I would have gone one of the cars that launch a bit better, but we'll see if Jonesy can get that thing off the line.
Oh, he's creeping. Oh.
He's jumped the start.
Jump with someone else.
Mid-Risky has got a great start though, already alongside Oily as we roll into turn 1. Flossie holding the inside line, MCDC looking around the outside of Corbin, turns to the inside of the next corner. Corbin holds that position, Mid-Risky loses out to Dodgy. And Jonesy has fallen all the way back to 11th after just 2 corners, unfortunately. But looks like majority of the field settling into line astern. Tate already gone from 11th up to 8th, up 3 spots there. Oily semi-defensive against Dodgy as well. Oh, deep into the braking zone goes Oily. On those hard tyres.
This is where our drivers will look to make their overtakes, because once we get into the Nordschleife a bit, it's gonna be like an episode of Initial D. It's so hard to overtake.
Oh, there's certainly chances. There's plenty of long straights around the track that open up opportunities. It can be done just behind Tate up the inside of Spoke to take 7th place before the Nordschleife as well. Gives him a quick flash of the indicators, and away he goes up to 7th already.
Already making moves.
What's the thing, like, when they go into the Nordschleife, where can Tate make an overtake, or does he just wait for people to make mistakes? And he dives on the inside.
Well, he almost had Dodgy there as well.
Very brave.
Well, after this this first section here, there's a very nice straight that leads you up to up the hill to a double right-hander, and then after that double right-hander, there's another very long straight that he can put the power of that Nissan to work on. So there's absolutely opportunities through these tight twisties. He's just got to settle in though.
To find a really good rhythm to make it through this part of the track. Oh, almost
so
lost it there,
close.
Tate.
Oh, dodgy with a bit of grass on the run down the hill here. I don't think we'll see him pull alongside on the run up to this next corner, but the overtaking opportunity is right here. Big lift from Tate, and on the power to keep a nice line through there. One of the fastest sections of the track. I see most cars get faster here than on the Don Joho. And you see the power of that Mercedes from Mid-Risky.
Oh my gosh.
Pulling his way past.
Oh, that...
Side by side. Laid on the brakes by Tate. There we go. Overtakes Mid and then lines up dodgy again.
Yeah, unfortunately that move by Mid costs Tate a spot at dodgy. But we saw Tate lift off and coast through that corner where Mid-Risky did not, and you can see the difference it made. Dodgy barely hanging on to the back of the three up ahead. MCDC and CCH are going at it as well. CCH playing roadblock on those hard tyres.
Go on, MCDC.
As we come into Corbin Corner here. Nice and cautious. He's made it through 10 more times, and he is through. Oh, he's pushed wide.
That's almost Corbin Corner 2.0.
Yep, and the dodgy train has started to form here as well. But they are reeling in Oily a little bit, who's on those harder tyres. So, could Dodgy get onto the back of them, or will Oily be able to hang onto the back of MCDC and CCH here?
You jump back with Tate and Dodgy.
Oh, Oily's off the grass. He cut a big part of that corner there. Apologies there, Zeddy.
Nah, they've got caught up. I was about they're making time on Oil, so yeah, hopefully we got the back end of that while Tate's looking left and right, just trying to find a gap around Dodgy.
Pushing Dodgy into mistakes there as well. Dodgy was mid-track and outbroke himself a little bit, costing himself a line. Oh, I saw a Porsche in the fence behind. It's Darth Berserk. And he's had trouble on the rejoin as well. Brutal will be coming along shortly as well, so he will drop all the way back to last, I believe, as that TDR Z4 approaches over the hill from behind him.
Yeah, while we were on board with that, Tate has found his way past Dodgy, so he's now running 5th.
Yeah, in the slipstream of Oil in my blood as well. Just ahead of them, Corbin still defending from MCDC as we come up the hill here on the back straight.
And Flossie's just broken the field.
He's gone.
The tyre difference between Flossie and Corbin making a huge difference there. And Corbin holding up all of the other medium runners. Tate looking up the inside as well as MCDC. Corbin holds it around the outside. Oil looking to do the same. Doesn't have enough grip. Tate slips on through MCDC and Corbin. Splot back in. Corbin's still leading. Can everyone keep it in the carousel? Corbin's fallen out. Through goes MCDC, finally released on those medium tyres to make some good use of them.
Next
and
up,
now
Tate.
with a hard charging Tate catching up as well.
So in one lap, Tate has gone from last to 4th so far.
You say that, but it's 6 minutes into that one lap. Corbin's wide, he's offline. As is Tate there a little bit.
Well, it's typical Tate. Like, I've seen in one race, Tate going from dead last to 2nd at the at the Red Bull Ring in the West. So it's typical Tate, I reckon.
There is a massive pack.
Corbin's off.
Corbin wide. Corbin is about to join this massive pack that I was about to mention. Oily leading Dodgy, Spoke, Mid-Risky, and Jonesy.
That is a big train forming up.
Those dirty tyres and the 2 hard tyre runners leading this pack now as well.
Where do you make me? That's the question.
Corbin again, he's gone! just dipped a tyre into the dirt. There he goes. Now Oily leading this pack up ahead. I'm very interested to see how MCDC goes against Tate here as we come onto the main straight of the track. Tate's got to make up a bit of time. He's pushed a little bit wide through the last couple of corners and dropped a bit of time to MCDC. But he's made it up through the second carousel there. Excellent execution, made up 0.3 of a second back in that slip. As we round a very tricky, long sweeping right-hander.
Gets on the power early.
This is a very critical
Half a second
corner.
the gap.
Does the GDR still have that massive aero wash and power disadvantage compared to the Jag?
It does not have the power that it used to, so you can see he's gaining, but it's very, very slowly as we come up the hill now. The Jag sitting on about 271, the Nissan at about 280 as he pulls to the inside, coming under the bridge. And there's the move made. I think we should jump back into 5th as well, as we have a Z4 wall holding off Jonesy coming down the hill. Spoke on the grass as well. Who's going to pull out? They've both tried to let each other through at the same time there. Spoke takes the lead, but gets a half a second penalty because of cutting the grass there, unfortunately.
Such an annoying penalty.
Oh, P2 is coming back at it again. Tate having to go defensive on MCDC into turn 1. MCDC was ready to try around the outside.
Tate very smart. They're parking in the middle of the track both times. So much action in lap 1.
Speaking of action, back in 6th place, we've got some more side-by-side action happening. Jonesy making his way by Dodgy after Dodgy had a bit of a moment coming out of turn 2. So everyone's slowly starting to spread out. You can see Dodgy not having the grip he wants through the corners there. He's fallen back from Jonesy already.
And also take note, Brutal's in for pits.
And he is, off the mediums and fueling up already. Interesting strategy call. See what he's done here. He's gone for the hard tyres. There's no way he could be trying a 5 and a 5. I can't see any way that fuel would make it that far, personally.
If you run fuel... Save on...
You would have to go fuel map 6 and short shift, but it's just not...
It's not worth
There's
it.
no way you would make up that time.
There's no way. It's just not worth it.
22 seconds in the pits. I was off my information here. Is that still correct? For fuel and tyres?
For tyres, it's about 20 seconds alone, depending on how much fuel he's put in. He's topped the tank, so that was about 30 litres, so about a 26-second pit stop there in total.
I guess it's something we just have to watch throughout the race, see what next time he pits in. But yeah, as I said, very interesting strategy.
Yeah, P4 and 5 at the moment, getting a little bit up close and personal as well. Oily still trying to do his best on those hard tyres. And Spoke trying to get on by so that penalty is not as painful.
I feel like Oily's just driving the Spoke into Jonesy for a recovery run there, especially just being on the different compounds.
Well, the thing about this Supra is it's already not great when it comes to the corners, but it is a monster in the straights. So you can't really pass in the corners around here, and it should have enough power to defend on the straights. I have a feeling Oily is running a higher fuel map though, as he's lifting, he's completely off throttle. Jonesy thinks better of trying around the outside there, but Oily not trying to hold up these guys now. Running his own strategy.
I wonder if Oily's running a one-stop potentially.
I don't think you can one-stop. I think it's a minimum 2.
I don't know, just watch this space. Oily.
Looking at his fuel, there's no way.
Yeah, definitely not.
They're on about 60 litres of fuel already. Just keeping an eye on the gaps here. I think Corbin has had another moment. He's lost about another 8 or so seconds to mid-risky up ahead. And Brutal is not having a great time, has dropped 36 seconds back off of Darth Berserk. But
Brutal went to the pits, that's why he's so far behind.
Yes. He was still quite a way back before that, though, right? He was back there with Darth Berserk.
He was, yeah.
Yeah. So most of the field coming up to about 50% of fuel gone as we approach the halfway point of this lap, which shows that a lot of guys are going to be barely on target to make that 3-lap goal. And the oily train is back in full effect. Jonesy and Dodgy just behind. Mid-risky has dropped a little bit out of the slipstream of Dodgy now, but could regain that time now that Dodgy is settled behind Oily. Jonesy having a look, thinking better of it. Oily with a big lift. There goes through Jonesy. I'm assuming we're going to see Dodgy let by here as they are on the run up the hill down this back straight.
Maybe towards the end, maybe on the back, like towards the corner, the next corner. That's when Dodgy might. So that's when Oily might let him by.
So Oily he's been in 6th gear for about 10 seconds now, and he's already dropped out of the slipstream of Jonesy. So very heavy fuel saving from Oily here. He's down about 5 kilometers an hour on Jonesy.
But the fuel burn between Jonesy and Oily is insignificant. Maybe 5 liters.
Yeah, something around there. Spoke losing that gap that he did have back to Oily as Jonesy starts to reel him in as well. Mid-risky back in the slipstream range of Dodgy, so we've still got this pack from 4th through to 8th place. Oh, Mid's right on the verge of falling out of the bowl as well. Very easy to do. We go Dodgy, giving Oily a bump. Not the time for an overtake. It's hard to keep track of all these guys. You never know when someone's going to send it. So...
send it or bid it.
That's the one.
Seconds is wondering about Tate's fuel and tire burn rate compared to the others.
Fuel is similar. Tires are worse due to being on controller, so pretty average for Tate.
There you go.
So I've noticed Mid-risky is a lot stronger than Dodgy through this sector of the track. As I say that, Mid gets a massive slide and barely holds onto the car. Coming up through YouTube corner here, famous for all the tourists running wide there. Speaking of running wide, there goes Dodgy.
Perfect timing.
Thought he saw a dinosaur up in the trees. Had his Jurassic Park hat on and all.
Section's hairy. As you can take this whole section.
Oh, Dodgy's had to brake.
The brakes.
Oh, that's very scary for Mid-risky. Oh, on the brakes early again. You can see that Mid-risky has so much more confidence through this sector of the track than Dodgy.
Is it just a rhythm?
Defensive.
Is it just a rhythm thing where you just lost the rhythm?
It is.
It could be. It could be a rhythm thing. It could also just be lack of knowledge. So Dodgy doesn't have the confidence coming through that sector, or maybe lost where he is, thinks it's a different corner. Not sure. If we jump up to 4th really quickly, Jonesy is about to blitz by Broken Spoke in that Z4 after that half a second penalty. Jonesy hitting almost 280 kilometers an hour up the hill here, while Spoke is stuck at 260 in that Z4 at the moment.
280 kilometers per hour. And
back in 7th as well, Mid-risky and Dodgy. Mid-risky using the speed of that Mercedes, 275 kilometers an hour. Dodgy with the slipstream could come back at him towards the end here. Brakes nice and early. Doesn't want to get in a big accident. We're only 2 laps in. Mid's gone deep into the corner.
And he stopped as well.
Yep, unfortunately didn't bounce off. He came to a dead stop there, trying to get going again.
And to Apex's question, Flossie at the moment has a 9.6 second lead.
10.
Sorry, 10 second lead over Tate now. Jeez.
Yep.
Oh, man.
So luckily the Div 2 driver's respecting the R plate on the back of Flossie's car, giving him a bit of space so he doesn't get too anxious on the track here.
It's going well for Flossie, but it's not going well for L Plan. Not going according to plan so far.
Yes, but I feel like since we were checking in on Flossie anyway, we may as well go through a nice little run through the field as we're all on the GP section of the track. So as we said, Flossie 10 seconds ahead of second place, which is Tate. Tate has 5 seconds back to MCDC, who has 5 seconds back to Jonesy, who has 1 second to Spoke, 7 seconds from Spoke to Oily, 2 seconds roughly from Oily to Dodgy. Mid has lost 10 seconds to Dodgy in that crash. Corbin 5 seconds to the rear. Darth Berserk about 8 seconds behind Corbin, and Brutal is a minute 16 off the back of Darth Berserk, unfortunately, and is not having the greatest of times.
Nah, he's on. Looking at how slow Brutal's going on along that straight. He's definitely on fuel map 6. Like maxing out.
That might just be the Z4. No, it's pretty bad in the straight, but it's not that bad. But I can't see his strategy working, as he's lost about 40 seconds in one lap there. So yeah, maybe just thinking that's the best way he can keep the car on the track and get through the race without maybe punching the wheel, as some are known to do.
Wrong track. Definitely wrong track. It has to be, was it Lassat for that?
Yeah, Le Mans, that one was. And that was in quali, but there's other TDR members that have punched wheels during this season as well.
Sometimes the wheel's just not your friend.
Alrighty, 6th and 7th seems to be our best battle at the minute. Dodgy trying to hang on to the back of that Supra. I definitely think Oily is either short shifting massively or running in a higher fuel map, because usually he would pull a lot of time on that Z4 down these straights.
Just have a look at the difference between this fuel burn at the moment compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like, just
some
little bit of a lag spike there, yeah. Caught me off guard. I was a little scared there, and something to bring attention to, gentlemen. In 9th position, Corbin has found himself a 3-second penalty to add to his suffering, unfortunately.
Did he pit?
Nah, he hit a wall.
No. He spun, and then he's got a 3-second penalty, I'm assuming, for cutting some corners.
Logic.
Because those tyres and fuel is definitely not indicating someone who has pitted. Quarter of a tank of fuel and about 60% of tyres gone. So Corbin maybe not going for an alternate strategy, maybe just only able to make those 3 laps on hard tyres.
I'm just disappointed he hasn't been at his quarter yet.
Oh, there's still plenty of time. But looks like the two Team Dodgy guys are linking. Oh, there he goes with a big slide. The two Team Dodgy guys are making up a lot of time on the 13R cars. Oily goes over the grass and loses a bit of time there to Dodgy, and then we have Spoke behind Jonesy up ahead of them. So I don't think we'll see Dodgy going for a move anytime soon, but interesting that they've found themselves paired up.
Yeah, we're curious if they're all on the same team chat as well, because how the close relationship between 13R and TDR as well.
If you give me a second, I can confirm that. Let's have a look.
Dodgy tried to go for a move on Oily, and it wasn't successful, and it wiped them both out.
Oh. And so allowed Mid to come back as well. Dodgy.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that
Jeez,
is an interesting. That is an unconventional spot for Madriski to get past Oily.
So I can confirm Dodgy, Brutal, and Spoke are all in a team chat, and Oily is along there with them. So Jonesy not with them. Dodgy looking to redress that position. So Mid-Risky goes +2 on the straight. Oily takes that spot back off of Dodgy, and I'm sure Corbin will be happy to see the gap up ahead dropping. Darth Berserk gaining on Corbin as well, has pulled in about 3.5 seconds.
Revving that Porsche out like it's no tomorrow.
Well, there is no tomorrow. That engine can cannon itself after the finish line for this race, and they can pack it up and just send it away.
He just reels in Corbin as well. Did Corbin have another off? Because
he did. He has front right damage. I think he might have gone wide in Courage Corner. So, front right and front aero, worn hard tyres. He's fallen out of the carousel as well there. Darth Berserk is just reeling in time massively here. And we can see a bit of a message on the front bumper of Corbin's car there. It is the Aston Martin livery with L-Plan scratched out on the nose. So, following Fernando wherever he goes.
Yes.
Interesting.
Also known as the burner of bridges.
Oh.
Man,
I wouldn't want to stay at Alpine if I was Fernando Alonso either, to be honest.
I wish that Corbin actually took more time practicing than doing up his livery. Maybe he won't bid it so much.
Oh. ZD taking Goat's role of being the savage on commentary here.
Hey, you've been way too kind to these guys. Someone's going to put them back into reality.
Well, that'll be an interesting reality when Corbin hits Div 1 next season. So... Oh, as he gets a massive slide coming through the dip there. Darth Berserk definitely within range to take that position off him when he serves that penalty. Corbin is all over the place at the moment with those worn hard tyres.
It doesn't look very comfortable.
Well, they're racing hard, it's not the comfort hard, so that makes sense.
This is not Corona Cup.
Incredibly, Corbin's hard tyres look worse than Darth Berserk's mediums after 3 laps. We have our first pit stop being Flossie in from the lead. We'll see Tate following suit here as well.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the whole field in.
I think we're going to see everyone except for Oily. And Brutal, who will... Yeah.
There goes MC and Jonesy.
Yeah. No one else can continue on until Oily, so... Looking at their fuel, there's very, very little chance.
Do you reckon Oily's got 4 more laps? He's doing 4-4s?
Yeah, I think Oily's going one more time. He's got the fuel for it. He's got about 30 litres left in the tank. And those hard tyres are looking in pretty good condition. They're only... they're still above halfway when comparing with Corbin's, which are about 80% gone. He's done a great job there.
Yeah. Well, while most of our drivers are making their pit stops, I think we can hear some words from one of our sponsors.
One thing... Before we do that, I would just like to point out that Tate and Flossie have already built up a pit stop gap over Oily.
Wow.
So this is actual racing positions on track now for Oily. This is where they're going to be if he does one less pit stop.
That is amazing.
And also to see like where he pops up with especially MCDC as well, who's just popped 4 seconds behind him.
Yeah, but we'll be running faster for the majority of the race, so... Interested to see how Oily does, but yes, back to you, Chris, and our words from our lovely sponsors.
Yes, first of all, let's hear some words from AMS Excavations.
All of them, please.
Do you own a business needing new equipment? Or perhaps you're wanting a good set of wheels for that shiny new bike licence? Maybe you're after that well-earned boat for retirement. Or you desperately need a new car or caravan for those family getaways? Get in touch with Jade Finance today.
Yeah, thank you from our wonderful sponsors there. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. I'll also give a mention to our sponsors that we do not have an ad for, unfortunately, but we still have some words from them. One of those being Permobile. The people at Permobile say their purpose is to innovate for individuals to create advanced solutions that make the lives of people living with disabilities more enriching. The dedicated teams at Permobile work tirelessly to make that happen. They are looking to lead change and see ability. And if you want to check them out more, search them up at permobile.com. The other wonderful sponsor that we have to give a mention to is Hybrid Ag, who have been on board with us for about a season and a half now. Hybrid Ag are passionate about educating people about the importance of nutrient density and the significant beneficial impact this can have on our health and the environment. They help people to apply this knowledge with a view to transform food quality as we know it today. And if you want to find out some more about the wonderful people at Hybrid Ag, check them out at hybridag.com.au.
There you have it.
And as
lovely sponsors we have.
As we return back to racing, we have Brutal in the pits, and he might be calling it. He's not getting the tyres changed. He's not getting any fuel added.
Might be just his night. That's it. Calling it. As I said, calling it. Frustrated about the Green Mile. So that's unfortunate.
Oh, the Green Hell. The Green Mile is a bit of a different finish.
Green Mile sounds like a movie.
It is a Tom Hanks movie.
Is it? Ah.
It is. It's a wonderful movie. I would recommend checking it out for those who haven't seen it. It's quite a long one, but has a beautiful story to it.
Like Corbin bidding it once again. We should really have a Corbin bidding count.
We just need a permanent side camera that watches him as he comes through Corbin Corner, safely taking a bunch of curb, getting loose under braking. He's really on it here, is Corbin. That's our second place Div 2 runner at the moment. We're so proud.
Or what I can do is just quickly add an emotional damage clip on the side.
Looks like we might have a bit of action for third place here. MCDC has made up the time to Oily. I believe it was about 4 seconds at the start of the lap.
Flossie, I think he lost it somewhere.
He has.
Yeah,
yes.
he has. It's right before the hairpin before the carousel. If that makes sense.
And Tate takes the lead. That's... Wow, I'm speechless. For one time, someone's actually overtaken Flossie.
Well, while he's in the wall and has damage on every corner of the car.
Anything can happen at the green.
But let's jump on back to this battle for third, as MCDC is looking pretty keen to get by Oily, who is on some very worn hards. He's left the inside of the carousel open, but MCDC didn't get the greatest exit, and he's not going to try and go side by side through here. This is helping Jonesy catch up as well. It's about the best overtaking opportunity MCDC was going to have for a couple of minutes here, as he's going to be stuck behind Oily. For quite a while. It's quite a high-speed section coming up here.
Yeah, not a lot of heavy braking zones.
It might be until the back straight here that he's just going to have to sit behind. Jonesy is on a massive charge as well, making up that time. Something I want to point out as well, 8th and 9th, Dodgy and Darth Berserk running soft tyres opposed to the mediums, so...
Looks like the
soft
game
tyres on half fuel. Oh, MCDC, he's having a look, he's showing the nose, he's got Jonesy to deal with as well, though. Very interested to see what could happen if they stay this close together coming onto the back straight. Because I'm assuming MCDC is going to pull out and try and pass. but then does Jonesy follow MCDC through, or does he bump Oily along and try and take the position off of MCDC and put him back into 5th?
Go for the pass. Go for the double overtake, I reckon. Jonesy must know that Oil is running a longer strategy, as he always does. There must be some sort of communication, and I reckon, yeah, Jonesy will go for the double overtake.
Personally, I would push Oily through, because at the end of the lap I know that Oily is pitting, and I'm going to net that place over MCDC, whereas if he tries to follow MCDC through, he could run out of straight with the extra straight line speed he has from being behind Oily. Oh, the dirty air's affected MCDC here. He had to lift on the run out of the corner though, and Oily was pulling away originally. Here comes Jonesy. He's gone for the bump. And MCDC not having that, so we'll see if Jonesy tries to bump Oily back through here. He's definitely staying in the slipstream. And the 13R guys try and go through. There it is. MCDC had the opportunity to work with these two and went for the pass, and it cost him a spot. Oh, Jonesy out onto the grass a bit though.
And I don't know about
Light
you guys,
on the
but
brakes.
I cannot hear Jonesy's car engine.
I can certainly hear it, so it's unfortunate, but there we go. Oily peels off to the right. MCDC with a bit of a run coming into turn 1 here.
So Jonesy apparently driving an electric vehicle prototype for Toyota, from my perspective at least.
So you can hear the monstrous Jag behind him still.
I can. Yes, I can. And
So-
yeah, I don't think Toyota's made like a pure EV before. I think there's like one SUV coming up soon, one electric SUV, but I think that's about it. Anyway,
Yeah, I think it's about time we jump up to that battle for the lead, as Flossie has made up that time on Tate now. So within half a second, and opportunity fallen away to get an overtake done before they get on to the Nordschleife. Flossie with a bit of a wider line, trying to get the better run down the back straight of the GP circuit here. It's just sitting at about 0.6 of a second behind. I'm trying to see, I believe that when someone has their radar on, the spectator's view shows whatever's one click to the left. So I see the traction control settings for Flossie, which I think means he has his fuel map up.
yeah,
And
he
might be using Tate to save some fuel here.
That's some. Yeah, I think that's recommended, especially through the Nordschleife part of the track.
But again, it's not like there's no overtaking opportunities. He has, after this next double right-hander, he has a massive run that he could try and make, but instead he's fallen back using the fuel map, so maybe just trying to stick with him and jumping in the pits, or maybe trying not to push too hard and make a mistake as we saw previously.
I think he's just buying his time, seeing where he's stronger and weaker against that GDR, and he'll definitely turn it up when he's comfortable and ready.
Oh my goodness, that Mazda
Certainly
looks,
closed the gap here.
that Mazda looks so wide compared to the Nissan.
And the two of the widest cars out there, that's for sure.
Yeah, these two and whatever Con's driving are about the widest cars you'll find in Wheel2Wheel.
Big shout out to Con there. Gotta love his defending.
Absolutely. Big shout out to the Great Wall.
And also, big shout out to the Golden Mullet as well, who's in the YouTube chat.
Yeah. So that gap now at half a second. It's our closest on-track battle that we have at the moment as well.
Wait a minute, if Flossie takes out this Enduro, does that mean he's taking out every Enduro this season in Div 2?
I believe so.
Ooh. That's probably
Because the Enduros were around 5,
What?
7, and 9?
Well, there's Interlagos.
Yeah, so 5, 7, and
Yeah,
9.
5,
That
7,
will
9.
mean he's
Yeah,
taken
5,
out
7,
all
9.
3.
Very much like Seconds last season. Interesting.
That would give Flossie 5 maximum scores as well, out of the possible 9. With one of those being a round that he didn't race, and one with a disconnect.
Oh, it just shows his dominance of Div 2. Just very much similar like Seconds last season as well in Div 2 before he got promoted up to the Div 1 boys.
Well, at the moment, Tate seems to be giving Flossie a run for his money.
I don't know about that. I think Flossie is just happy to sit there. He's still on the fuel map. He's losing time on the straights to the Nissan, which isn't great in the straight line. So that would make me think he's trying to save a bunch of fuel.
But the
Shifting
fuel
up to 6th gear on the back straight here as well.
But the fuel isn't that much different between Tate and Flossie yet, to be honest.
No, but he's only been saving that fuel for a couple of minutes now.
Yes, yeah, just bits of fuel, and like Dragon said, maybe also like don't want to push that much, because a mistake around here, it's pretty hard to recover.
I think we might have to take a journey down to 8th and 9th place here, gentlemen. Oily on those hard tyres has been caught by Berserk on those soft tyres. So 2 different strategies coming together here. Oily with, I think, 2 stops less than Darth Berserk by the time we come to the end of this race. Berserk got very unstable under braking there. And there goes that Supra out of the slipstream and using all that power to pull away.
Question: will Berserk be able to get back home, back to the pits? 20 litres left in the tank?
Yeah, he only filled up to about 60, 65, so
Okay.
should leave him with enough to get back. He's just hit the limiter in 5th gear though.
And how are his tires?
His tyres are not great. Both his rears are about 50% gone. The front's look incredible, but that's just MR things. As opposed to Oily's tyres that look phenomenal, but unfortunately they are hard tyres. Here's Darth Berserk coming alongside, and that's going to be the move. Oily not fighting that one too hard, just looking to run his strategy. Struggling to stay in the carousel there. Pops out behind, and off goes Darth Berserk.
It's interesting, actually. Oil is 1 minute and 10 seconds behind the leaders. So maybe that strategy's not paying off.
Oh, I just saw a Corbin in the wall there as well. He's recovered though. I think now's a great time to jump back up to the lead as they're approaching the Donja Ho. And Flossie has fallen out of the slipstream a little, but Tate got spat out of the second carousel early there. Oh, and he's a little wide through the first part here. Flossie's tyres definitely going to be looking the better of the two as they come onto their last lap. And he is just within slipstream here. Goes purple as well. Revving that Mazda all the way out in the slipstream now. As you see how bumpy this track is as they come along and the car's dancing about as they hit all the bumps. Tate with a second move down the straight there to break the slipstream.
Yeah, bumpy.
Coming under the bridge. It's not enough for
almost half a second.
Flossie. Yeah, it's not as fast as I would have thought from Flossie as well.
Well, what times has Flossie been doing during the practice?
I believe I've seen an 8:05 out of him as he takes a bit of wall with him on the exit there as well. And there goes Tate off into the distance. Flossie only improves by 1.5 tenths there after that little bit of wall contact.
Yeah. Anyway, 4 for Flossie on fast lap, and then Jonesy just comes through with the fast lap. 8:06.4 on lap 5. Well done, Jonesy.
Yep, Jonesy running in that clean air on these mediums, not having to worry about anyone else, put in a cracker of a lap there.
especially after that poor start as well.
Yes. I don't see too much else happening throughout the field. Oily is gaining on Darth Berserk on the back straight, but Darth Berserk's going to be in at the end of this lap, so I doubt anything will come of that. We'll just see Oily carry on for another 3 laps. He's reeled in a very lot of time. He's brought in about 0.8 of a second there. Dodgy in the pits as well off of those soft tyres. Darth Berserk to follow. And I believe these guys are just going to keep doing 2 lap stints on the softs to the end here. After running a 3-lapper on mediums to start to nullify one of the pit stops, and then 2 all the way to the end.
Could they run 2 3s as well, maybe, potentially?
They could, but I think at this point of the race, I don't see him doing that. It feels like an odd time to switch to softs if you're going to be in traffic. We'll see how they go. Long fuel up for Dodgy, so you might be right. Mediums and 96% fuel, yep. Berserk 66% fuel and softs, so
yeah, the
you see
Berserk running.
both strategies there. Berserk going for the extra pit stop and Dodgy going for the 3-lap stints.
Well, I think, that might be a tactical play by Dodgy there. Just getting out of everyone's traffic and just running clean air until the end of the race.
Yep. Closest pair of cars again on track as our leaders as well there.
Oop.
This is where I think the big difference is going to be, personally. The tyre difference between Tate and Flossie is growing massively the further we get into this. So I think Flossie really needs to try and find a move at some point on this lap, otherwise he is going to start losing out a lot.
Yeah, Tate absolutely chewing out those fronts. However, compared to Flossie though. Flossie ever so close behind Tate's bumper right there. Has to brake a little bit just to stabilise the car over the bumps. As he comes through, literally seeing where he comes.
Wide.
That was close.
On the approach to Corbin Corner now.
Will anyone except for Corbin do it here? Well, as they go nice cleanly through that.
Flossie, that was not as clean as you might think from Flossie. He dipped a tyre on that inside curb, and when you do that, the vision becomes very unstable.
Yeah, it just, when you hit that curb, it just absolutely over-rotates the car. Which you do not want to see as Flossie!
Speaking of,
goes! Oh, unlucky. Oof. And he absolutely cops damage, bumpers, rear axle, all flashing red as Jonesy is coming around and will take P2. Whoop, whoop, side by side. There we go.
There you go, so that tyre wear really starting to affect the ability of Flossie's car there. The earlier slide probably didn't help that either. And just like that, Tate has a 15-second lead now.
Well, there you go. The green hell just showing its teeth at the moment.
Certainly is. 1.3 seconds the gap between Jonesy and Flossie now. Our three drivers towards the top of the field here with almost identical fuel as well.
What about Flossie beans it again?
Those dirty tyres really coming into play now. And that's going to open up the door for MCDC.
Just a quick one on the RX Vision. Is it a rear happy car? Like it's the rear tire happy car?
It has similar characteristics to an MR. Quite a bit of the time.
Oh, unlucky. It must be an absolute handful, especially coming to the end of your stint with the tyres in such a degraded state.
Yeah, Sekka's in the chat making a good point. We're at the halfway point of the race where some of the drivers are starting to feel that fatigue, starting to get a bit tired. where mistakes really do start to creep in. So now the big chase down would have to be done by Flossie. 25 seconds he would have to try and make up here.
That is a tall order.
With a 3-lap stint on mediums and a 2-lap stint on softs to go. I would say his only hope of that would be for Tate to have some dramas with tyre wear, maybe. That's a huge ask.
Well, I think the top 3 are definitely running all that same strategy, where there's going to be another 3-lap stint, another 2. It depends on who's going to pull the trigger on the 2-lapper.
Yeah, I think our top 6 are all running that similar strategy. The first one to be different is Oily.
What would you recommend? Would you potentially jump on the 2-lapper earlier, or would you save the 2-lapper for the last stint there, Dragon?
I would leave... Oh, Flossie's around again! I would leave that to... Gets the flick spin done just before MCDC passes. I would leave the softs to last. It's out of the way of Broken Spoke now as well. So those wearing medium tyres really taking their toll on Flossie's ability to get around the track here. He's got about a minute and a half left to get through before he can get a fresh set on.
Well, throwing the dice, not surprised, definitely it's not viable to jump on the hards for a 3-lap stints, but maybe that little bit of pressure from Tate just made Flossie burn his tyres a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe.
Because he's definitely had his unforced errors.
Something has happened to MCDC now as well, as Spoke is within 0.3 of a second, and Flossie just 1 second behind them.
I would allude to MCDC's fuel. Is that enough to get back?
It looks like plenty to get back. He's letting everyone by. He's let Spoke by. He's on like half throttle at the moment, shifting. Maybe he is scared to get back. I don't know. He's on about 5%. That should be plenty to get him to the end of the straight. I think he's being a little extra cautious here. But Tate in from the lead, managed to keep his tyres alive quite well. Front left being the worst of them, but still having about 10% left. 18 seconds, the gap back to Jonesy from Tate now as well.
Yeah, Jonesy managing his tyres quite well. Very, very much worn to get off those mediums.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Zeddy. MCDC is only about half throttle. He's travelling down the straight at about 220 at the moment, which I wouldn't recommend. I would have just gone all out, get to the highest top speed possible, and then coasted in down the hill here, but it's alright. He's gotten to the end here and has a chance to refuel.
Let's have a look.
It'll be on 2.
2, yeah. Ah, jeez.
So Tate with a huge gap so far, coming through turn 2 already. Waiting for Jonesy to roll out of the pits now.
And I'm curious to see where Oil pops in as well.
There goes Jonesy out of the pits. Oily is just coming into the last couple of corners now. So we'll see Flossie rolling out of the pits, I believe, before he gets there.
Behind.
A long pit stop. No, Oily might take it barely. There's Spoke. There's Flossie. And here comes Oily. So Flossie, even with that spin, still has made up a full pit stop on Oily.
Everyone is on mediums as well, so leaving the soft stint to last by the looks of it.
Yeah, back in 9th and 10th as well. Oh, as I've given a bit of a curse to Berserk, I was going to say he's within a second of Dodgy up ahead, but he took a bit of grass with him, jumped a curb, and there goes that gap out to over 2 seconds. So he'll have to spend another 8 minutes closing that gap to try and make a difference there. Flossie on the fresh mediums is probably going to be looking to get back up into 3rd position very quickly here as well.
Something we haven't mentioned much of is, Bespoke. Broken Spoke, sorry. up to third, starting from 7th. So yeah, it's having a quiet but very consistent race there. So yeah, well done, Broken Spec.
Yeah, I believe he started from 10th, so even better. And here comes the screaming hornet of Flossie. Spoke not fighting that one too hard, lets him on through. Flossie with a flash of the hazards. Says, thank you very much. I'm gonna go charge on and try and chase these two clowns up ahead down.
Respecting the R plate being sported by Flossie.
Yes, you don't want to stress him out too much. That's one thing Tate didn't get, is he was too close to Flossie and he freaked him out.
Yeah, especially after those spins. Yeah, just goes to show it's the R plate that gets Flossie the win.
Now maybe Broken Spoke just knows that Flossie's going to bid it in his last couple of laps on the stint, and he's just going to retake a position.
Maybe we'll see. Long laps ahead.
Yeah, 20 seconds to make up to gain each position here for Flossie. 18 seconds to Jonesy, 22 to Tate. I think he could close the gap for second, but 40 seconds to Tate. We were saying that 25 is already a hard ask. 40 seconds is near impossible.
Well, again, it comes down to mistakes. I think Flossie's race is just showing you if you make mistakes here, you can lose your lead just like that.
Yeah, Tate also driving, I feel, very within the limits of the car. He's not pushing super hard, he's just looking for some nice, consistent times. Just keeps circulating.
Again, Tate's just showing the fact that, he's an ex-Div 1 driver, and he's probably going to be slowly fighting his way back to get into top split.
Yeah, we'll have to give that one a go in Season 13 next year when we come back.
Yes.
He gets that car circulated nicely there.
So what do you think about Season 13? The longer season now next season? Potentially street cars? What do you reckon there, Dragon?
Should be good. Don't personally see the point of the longer season. But yeah, excited for whatever road car we end up with. I'm really hoping for a Radical. And should be a fun Group 4 in the second half of that season as well.
Suzuki Swifts, let's make it happen.
No.
Why?
Unless we turn the tyre wear off, no. With the current tyre model, controller drivers are at a massive disadvantage, so that would just make that even worse.
Oh yeah, and speaking of the radicals, don't forget the double shift.
Oh,
that's true. Flossie running.
Yeah, you saw that moment as well. I was
on there. I was on there. That scared me completely. I was like, ooh.
MCDC in 6th place has caught back up to Oily as well, running around on those hard tyres. Unfortunately, having to drive around in fuel map 6 and try and save that fuel down the back straight cost MCDC the advantage he did have over Oil and meant he ended up back behind him, just like the start of his last stint, unfortunately.
But yes. Any tips for the next season? Let's ask some juicy questions here, Dragon. You gonna try keeping the same team?
No.
Oh, what?
I don't think I'll be on a team next season.
Oh, that's what? Team over to no team? What's going on, mate?
Moving states and can't confirm that I will have a PlayStation or a TV with me, so at this point I can't commit to even being on a team just as a driver or as a team leader personally. I think next season the drivers from Dragon's Den as a combined unit would have a great chance at being towards the pointy end of the teams with the likes of Chris and Flossie in Div 1. If myself was able to show up for Div 2, Troy would be in Div 2 as well. And we've seen what Troy can do. He's been quite strong in Div 3 this season. Dunedin would be up into Div 4 and making some more points as well, so yeah.
Interesting. You heard it here first, ladies and gents. As MCDC makes that pass around Oily just giving him the room and space to get around him just after the carousel there.
Yeah, Oily with still about 10 minutes to go before his next pit stop. Not going to fight MCDC too hard. Gets a bit of curb coming through that right-hander. It's very, very dangerous to do. It can really push your car out onto the edge of the track at times.
Ooh, and since we're at the end of the season, I think
Dodgy's in the wall. Back in 8th place, unfortunately. He just built a gap back to Darth Berserk. He had about a 2-second gap earlier. Went down to 9 seconds, or out to 9 seconds, and now Dodgy making mistakes on those tyres, costing him more time.
Mistakes breeding more mistakes.
That's the case. There goes 4 seconds of the lead that Dodgy did find himself with. We could see Mid-Risky catching Oil on the massive straight here towards the end of the lap as well. Just noticed something that I have to make aware.
Wait a minute, if Oil's done 2 4s, is he going to finish off on a 3 then?
I think so, yes.
Yo. Also, since we're talking about, we're at the end of the season, team leadership. The leadership board at the moment is Kudarita Contraflogge in the lead at the moment, and Damhex is followed close behind. Do you see that changing there, Dragon?
I can't see that changing, no.
At how MC is performing right now, even with the absence of Squid, I don't see that changing. MCDC's been driving well. I also know that DCE's also been driving super well. And of course, can't ignore the efforts from Segas, KZ, and Sherman throughout the entire season.
Yeah, sure.
That's true. That's very true. But again, you've got the you could say underperforming Dale in Div 1 with Adam as well from Damhex again, and then
I wouldn't say underperforming, but
for Adam has had disconnects, unfortunately, so that's been the reason for his score. But
talking about CDT here now, if you ask him very politely,
Dale is performing better than he did last season, so
I think he sees it as an underperformance. Talking to him,
I mean, anyone could say that though. Apex could say that because of his first couple of rounds. Chris could say that because of some of his rounds.
True, very true.
Yeah, we've all had our own moments, but yeah, I think that's just what makes this league beautiful. CD swinging for the fences.
Always. When aren't I being a bit controversial with some of my calls? As Darth Zeki goes into the pits, doing
Mid-Risky within half a second of Oil as well. He's been closing that gap as Oil's struggling on these tyres.
I just think the 2-stop strategy, looking at the difference where Dodgy and Darth Berserk went in, I just don't see the mini 2-stop strategy working, to be honest.
Yeah, look, it might have worked if Darth ran a perfect race, but yeah, unfortunately the mistakes has cost him, and now he's even back behind Corbin, which is saying something.
Speaking of Corbin, it hasn't been the best. It hasn't been the final race that he wanted.
No, but I know he's historically he's not done too well at this track, so you'd think he'd learn eventually, but not the case.
Well, maybe he just wants to be coined the new Mr. Bennett. Maybe, I don't know.
Nah, I think he's just
coming for Footnar's title.
No, he's just washed around this track.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Corbin's favorite word there. Washed.
I think closest battle we could have starting to come together will be MCDC and Mid-Risky.
Oh, he's got past Oily.
He got past him earlier on the GP circuit. Now he's pulled in about half a second on MCDC just in the first 2.5 minutes of this lap as well. Aggressively braking here on the power very early, a little wide. It's going to cost him time on the exit. Still pulled in about a tenth on MCDC as they run down the hill now.
Just getting out, working that 5-liter V8 very hard, trying to catch up to another V8 powered car.
Yeah, getting a little loose as he came over the top of the hill there. He did well to hold on to that one. It feels like forever getting through those corners as well as they are so slow.
Oh my gosh, what is that?
What is that
camera work from the game? That's horrendous.
Oh yeah, cool. Everyone got that as well? Straight underneath the bumper? Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't get that one. I'm watching in chase cam. Can't be having the cameras costing me some vital information.
I mean, I appreciate the close-ups, PD, but that's a bit much.
So 1.7 seconds seems to be about the gap. 2 seconds extra has been put in the distance between Mid and Oily as well. The Oily's really not able to find the pace at the moment. But that might change once he's onto a 3-lapper on the medium tyres instead. 1.3 seconds the gap now. Mid Rescue starting to close it up every now and then. MCDC making small mistakes. Running less fuel again as well, I noticed, from MCDC, so going for the risk of running out again on that lap 3. It's a brave call.
I don't know if it's that's how much he intended to fill up in his previous stop, or it's just the car. I don't know if the Jag that does compared to others. Is it?
No, he underfueled.
He underfueled. Okay.
Yep, that's... Yep. Does have it on the straights as Midrisky goes for a early shift up to 6th gear here. Whereas the Jag was kept in 5th a little longer to get a bit more speed as they both use all the track running through Courage Corner there. Midrisky up on his personal best by 0.6 of a second as well.
MC just keeping the engine revving high. I think that might be where the supercharger works, because the Jaguar is supercharged.
Midrisky just had a moment as well coming out of the hairpin before the carousel. Big sideways moment. So he did well to hold on to that one, but lost himself a little bit of time and made it right back up in the carousel.
With the supercharger, no, it dies off right at the top end, so I'm surprised MCD is actually revving the tits out of the Jag there.
2 seconds up on his personal best lap time is MCDC as well. So on track for an 8:13 at this rate. Midrisky on track for an 8:11. Oh, Mid getting loose again.
Midrisky. Well
That's
saved.
Similar to what we saw out of the RX Vision earlier. Getting on that inside curb just loosens up the rear end. And there goes the whole second that he just pulled into MCDC, gone with one little mistake.
But great talent by Midrisky there, just to keep it off the wall there, to show you how much class this guy has.
Yeah, and somehow that might have been what he did on his personal best lap, as he is the exact same split above his personal best as he was when I previously mentioned it. Even after making up that second and then losing it, it's still 0.6 better. Oh, Flossie is off the track again.
Out
of the second carousel. He hard contact with the wall. He's going to be losing time all the way down the straight. He's not gaining on the 2 up ahead either, so maybe just looking to settle for that 3rd place and take home the podium.
Look, he's definitely got a 7-second buffer over Broken Spoke, but yeah, maybe just turn it down, try to get rid of that red mist and just settle for a podium.
Yeah, he lost about 3 seconds with that crash there. A little more as he comes down the straight here, losing time to even the Z4, which is not known as one of the best cars for this straight. something has happened to Mid-Risky as well. Maybe a similar thing. Front aero and front left damage cost him about another 3 seconds to MCDC up ahead.
And that damage...
Fatigue really starting to kick in.
And that damage is really in Oily as well now. As it just repairs and gets a bit more acceleration.
Yeah, Mid-Risky hitting 260 under that bridge. Oily at 276. And up on his personal best, but he will be in this lap as he's running low on fuel. So in for his final stop here at the end of lap 8. Mid-Risky went deep into the final corner again as well.
Yes, he did. And here comes Oily into the pits.
Yep, final stop.
Jumping straight into the mediums?
Yep, he'll be on the medium tyres there.
Now, will he fill to the top and rev the Super out, or will he...
Well, the Super doesn't need to be revved out normally, but I think he'll fill to about 80 to 90%.
Yeah, it is a thirsty one.
I saw Captain Lowside was coming in with about 11% of fuel after 3 laps from a full tank, so I'm assuming about 90% will get Oily home. Dodgy also coming into the pits for his final stop. There's the medium tyres. Was that 89%? Look at me, yep. Spot on.
There you go. Oh, there you go.
Oh, look at you.
So the field really starting to space out quite a bit now. We have Darth Berserk is going to close the gap to Dodgy here, but still has 1 pit stop to go. So he's really got to build up a gap to Dodgy in this next lap to have any chance at that position. Dodgy getting the fuel in now. Here comes Darth Berserk past the start finish. Still stationary, and there goes Darth taking that spot away.
And will Corbin also jump Dodgy?
Rolling out of the pits now is that Z4. There goes Corbin. So he does, but I'm sure Dodgy will be in a hurry to get on by Corbin once he closes that gap to him. I think Corbin's going to be in at the end of this lap as well.
Yeah,
he's still on hard.
He is on hard tyres, yes. He's learnt how to keep him alive for a lot longer, apparently. As he's got about 50% wear on the front left now, rather than about 70.
Practice does make
Oh, yellows again. Broken Spoke is around in 5th position. There goes MCDC. He's done too much of a flick spin.
P5.
That's what it said, 5th position. Mid-Risky goes on by as well. So, unfortunately, all of that hard work for Spoke, and there goes 20 seconds of time. It's very unfortunate. He does have quite a gap back to Oily, but part of that will be the pit stop that he will have to make at the end of this lap. So, I'm keeping an eye on Oily at the moment to see what that gap changes to as he rounds this next left-hander here. I believe it's going to go down to about 30 seconds, which is about the pit loss that Spoke is going to have to take.
Seconds,
there it is.
There you go.
So that's going to be very close at the end of this lap between these two, I think. Spoke will have the advantage of soft tyres, though.
Yeah, I think this is where the fatigue comes in. This is where that practice during out the week comes in, and the endurance. You know,
they are 1 hour and 11 minutes in.
So already longer than most of our normal enduros, which usually take their toll anyway. And still 20 minutes to go.
The question to you, Dragon, how do you ensure your longevity in these super enduros? Like, what do you do? Do you switch off during the long straights? How do you prepare yourself for such, 11 laps of hell, pretty much?
Well, previously around this track, when I practice around this track, I don't push for times. I lap them without sound, which sounds incredibly stupid, but I will have headphones on and I'll be watching a YouTube video or a TV show or something on my monitor to my left, and I will just be driving the track, getting my muscle memory in, so it doesn't take as much concentration to remember every corner around the track.
That's different. That's such insightful. And how about you, Chris? Yeah.
Well,
do you do something similar?
For long races like these, again, this might sound stupid, but I just blast music like how you drive on the road every day. Not listen to the radio per se, but just listen to music and just let the muscle memory do the work.
Bad, not bad. No, that's very insightful for you two. I don't know. For me, I've
so apparently for the Div 1 guys, the key is to not pay as much attention as everyone else.
well, I gotta admit, I use a very similar tactic in the normal racing. That's why whenever I'm racing Wheel2Wheel, I have my laptop right next to me and I type to the commentators on YouTube, lad.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like a big thing for me personally is I know if I'm sitting by myself throughout this whole race, I'm going to make mistakes because I start to focus too much on the race, whereas if I'm in a party chat or, like Chris said, with music playing, you've got something else to focus on, so you're not only focused on not making a mistake in the next corner. Battle for 9th is heating up at the moment as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good question there, ZD. I like that. Oh, there's the good one. The new Corbin corner has been named. He's just really keen to get out of the way of Dodgy. Up the road, Darth Berserk is losing a bit of time. I think he's had some dramas. Only 3.2 seconds the gap back to Dodgy, but still has to make that pit stop. The fight could be CCH and Darth Berserk for 9th place by the end of this one.
It'll be interesting to see what compound does Corbin go for the last 2 laps.
Yeah, that's...
Did he just go off again?
He did have a bit of an off there, yep. Yeah, that's interesting again, as I found...
He's off again. So
and he's glued the front end to the wall.
Yeah, so apparently for Corbin, ZD's not necessarily needed on track. Just
his presence.
His presence.
So that battle between Darth Berserk and Corbin I was talking about is looking less likely now.
Your presence is very impactful indeed.
Did he go around again? No, he's holding on to it.
As Tate goes into the pits for the final time this race. So he just missing out on the fastest lap last time around as well. So that 806.6 from Jonesy standing over Tate's 806.7 last lap. That is some lightning time. I want to see what happens. Is Jonesy's 806 going to hold, or is these guys going to show some fireworks in the very last lap of this race?
Man, I think it'll fall. Most people are going to be running
softs.
2 laps. Yeah, most people are going to be running 2 laps on softs to the end. So I think we could see a sub 7 if someone absolutely nails it.
Sub 7? You mean sub 8?
Sub 7.
Oh, sorry, sub 8. Apologies.
Sub 8.
Oh my holy
We'll
crap.
probably be looking like
It's
what,
because
8,
I was
2?
reading the number 7 as I went to say that. But I think we'll see like anywhere from 7:59 up to like 8:03s, 8:04s.
But do you risk it though? Because you've got a lead. You go.
That's exactly the point. You've got a lead. 24 seconds spare. Why not?
Flossie showed you that he lost nearly 24. I would say around 24 seconds in his disastrous lap in lap 4.
Yeah, but that's him losing it while not pushing, while just doing a medium stint. Whereas low fuel on softs, the tyres should hold on quite a lot better. It's a lot easier to get 2 out of softs than it is 3 out of mediums.
Yeah, well,
Here comes Oily.
Oh, where's Oily? Oh,
7th at the moment. So he's taken the spot off of Spoke and Mid-Risky. There you go. Spoke emerging on soft tyres, Mid going mediums again.
So once Spoke and Madruski catches up too early, it will be for track position. It'll be for 5th place. And for our soft runners, it'll just be like our one-shot quality scenario. You only have one chance to produce the fastest lap you can do.
Look, it is the final chance of the season for bragging rights. I know personally, if I was in that situation, I'm taking that chance.
But you're a high-risk, high-reward player there, Dragon.
I'm really not. I usually only race about 90% of my pace to try and be more consistent. So
Corbin again bins it at the last corner.
Yeah, he's just got to make it to the pits. A bit of wall on the way too. He's so done with this paint job, he's trying to get the walls to take it off for him.
It's the new bonnet. It's the new bonnet.
I think it's the person behind the wheel.
Yes! Dragon has come back! That's the Dragon that I missed.
I've tried to be nice to him, but he's had a bit of a nightmare. And I know he'll be fine to poke fun at himself, so... We see the gap between Darth, Berserk, and Dodgy now 33 seconds, the difference there, so... Massive difference. Dodgy 43 behind Mid, and Mid trying to close that gap on Spoke, but on medium tyres, whereas Spoke's on the softs. Question for you in the chat there as well, Chris, yeah. If you're listening to a song for a hot lap around here, what's your go-to?
I actually don't know, because, I mean, I don't know any song that goes on for 8 minutes or so.
So what's your song?
You need to listen to more metal.
Well, recently I've been into the new Need for Speed. It's got some good soundtracks too. So I'll probably just rotate between 4 or 5 songs from the Need for Speed Unbound soundtrack.
I'm going with Get Low from Need for Speed Underground, the original music motivator. The whole just putting it on repeat, so I hear the song like 2.5 times the whole lap.
Yeah.
Oh, Jonesy goes off there.
To the wall.
Oh, yes, as you said, there's Eddie Jonesy with an off now. Hour and 20 minutes into this one. That fatigue really starting to go through it.
Yep, we're almost there. We're almost there.
Yeah,
Expat's
for
daughter
me,
once
the song
was on the bus.
For me, that song fits so well because it'd be from the wall to the wall and then back to the wall and then, just bouncing between them.
That's very interesting. I thought maybe like Lowrider, maybe like a classic.
What about yourself, Zeddy? What would be your go-to song here then?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
You know what? That
classic.
might make it the whole lap almost.
Yeah, that might make the whole lap.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, how long does Bohemian Rhapsody go to? I'm pretty sure it's an 8-minute song.
And just for that response, Zeddy, I'm gonna look it up for you right now.
Well, and also, I think for the distraction for Dragon, why don't watch the Thriller
Thriller music video
clip? Yeah, that's about it.
So Bohemian Rhapsody, the new one, goes on for 5 minutes and 54 seconds.
So you could almost listen to it twice. Well, with how fast you drove, Zeddy, you'd get 2 listens out of that.
Wait, of course. I'm always driving the MX-5 around here. Of course I'll get that too. That's easy.
Baker Boy suggesting Barbie Girl. Now that's for Pete Corsa.
No, that's for what's his name? That's for Scooter when he's driving his what car did he drive a couple of seasons back? The Macca.
Oh, McLaren F1.
Yeah. No, Chiron, sorry. The Chiron, where he had his was it orange? An orange livery that looked like he was a freaking safety worker.
Not sure.
I might not be around at that time. So Scooter, if you're watching, just hit us up on YouTube chat. Fact check. CD.
In all honesty, the song I'd probably go for is called Marigold by a band called These Four Walls. It's a bit metal, and it would suit the track well. It's got the pace for it. Oh, Corbin is off at his corner! Capture it! He's down in 10th. He is doing
Yes! You cap it!
I will
so
be
happy.
absolutely thrilled that we've caught that on stream.
I got that on stream. Yes.
He's up again!
That's Corbin Corner 2.0, I think.
We're going to be here for another half an hour to get Corbin to finish this one at this rate.
I think Corbin just misses me that much that he's just spinning it right there.
So what you're saying is Corbin's listening to Wish You Were Here
You wish you were here.
by, is it Pink Floyd? Wish You Were Here, I think?
Yeah, it is
that's
Pink
the
Floyd.
one.
It is Pink Floyd. I think it's like it goes on for like 7 minutes or something.
Oh, let's have a look.
Oh,
I'll
actually,
quickly fact check this one.
yep.
Oh, it came up with Avril Lavigne. Yeah, not that one.
I got it.
5 minutes
5
20.
minutes 34
so-
seconds according to Spotify.
Yeah, 5 minutes 20 for the YouTube clip. Let's see, we do have some action forming up in 5th place though. Broken Spoke has caught back up to Oily using them soft tyres. Oh, goodness. My game froze for about 3 seconds there. I thought I was about to crash.
Oh,
Oh, speaking of about to crash, my goodness.
Who was that?
Was, that was so dangerous.
Oh, Dodgy's around
Oh,
in P8.
oh, he is struggling to get turned back around the right way as well. There he goes. Still got a nice gap back to Darth to work with, but as we've seen, that can fall away quickly with a few mistakes. Spoke looking to hold on to that slipstream of Oily for 5th place as they come around here as well. A couple of lifts and away it goes though. Not confident through that sweeping right-hander, and he's out of range. Away goes Oily.
Spoke's out of the slip. No chance he's catching up.
No, that Supra hitting 278 coming up the hill here, and Spoke at 266. So,
It's just illegally
massive,
fast,
massive
the Supra.
difference.
It's illegally fast.
Hey, it's got to be good, if it's crap around corners, it's got to be good somewhere else, right?
yeah, and the Z4 is the complete opposite. It's great in the corners, but on those straights it does not have a whole lot going for it. I think that 8-second gap up to MCDC is a bit much for Oily to close up, but again, that one mistake can be all it takes. But Tate with a phenomenal drive so far for 10 laps. 1 to go. 23-second lead almost over Jonesy. Has been incredibly consistent, so see what happens. He did this last season as well. He practiced for the Big Willow Super Enduro and had a good performance in the last round last season. Do it for all of the rounds throughout the season and you might have a good result there, Tate.
Why so mean? Why so mean as he's 0.11 up on the fastest lap deck, absolutely gunning it for
We've got
bragging rights.
another question from Seckers in the chat. Favourite moment of the season, gentlemen?
Moment of the season.
Personally, commentating Div 2 at Red Bull Ring.
Yes. Red Bull Ring was
that's up
such.
there for me.
Yeah, that round was such a good night overall. There's that
The chaos in
the
Div
race,
1
yeah,
was
Div 1 race
so
3
good too.
where almost everyone apart from Tomo literally forgot how to drive, and then the commentary the commentary session we had, Dragon, it's just pure gold.
Yeah, it's hard to beat that as a favourite moment for me for the season. I mean, outside of the 9 rounds, we've also had the return of the Corona Cup King himself, ZD, which has been a pretty great moment for Wheel2Wheel, and great to have some Friday nights spent in those MX-5s once again.
Hey, it needs to be, as I said, need to bring the fun back in the league a little bit.
Flossie's in the wall again, sorry. Yellow flags for MCDC. Is that podium spot up for grabs?
Yeah, that
And
yellow
5
flags of
seconds.
Flossie, yep.
4 seconds the gap. He's going to lose time all the way down this straight now as well. 3.7.
With that front aero damage as well.
Oh,
Also, P5, P6 here. Oil in My Blood and Broken Spirit are only half a second splitting between these two guys.
Look at the power of that Supra. He is pulling away in the slipstream. He's going 276 kilometers an hour without slip, while Spoke is doing 272 in it.
what engine
my-
does the Z4 have?
Slow one, apparently.
Not the same one?
Spoke half a second up on that 8066 that Jonesy set, though, so really putting those soft tyres to work. I'm interested to see, I'm just going to ride along with Tate for a second to see how far purple he is as he comes onto the back straight and about the halfway point of the lap. See how we go here.
I think we
Coming
stay
up to
with
the
that.
split.
3.3 seconds purple is Tate.
Whoa.
Oh,
And we stay with the battle for P5 and 6 here.
Yes.
Broken Spoke all over Oily's rear bumper, trying to find a way around.
Z4 just doesn't have the power to get by.
yeah, just,
He doesn't have a lot of tyre left to be able to push either.
Yeah, just went on the internet. The Z4 has a V8 engine,
Yeah.
and it's losing out to an inline 6.
Inline 6 turbo?
Ain't no replacement for displacement, brother. Clearly there is. It's called a big old turbo.
Yeah, he's chewing out the tires. I wonder how much longer those tires are gonna hold on for if he's gotta keep on dancing around Oil in My Blood.
Oh, as he runs a bit wide over the bridge.
Up the hill, he's got a great run though, but that power of the Supra is going to help Oily defend this 5th spot here. That gap closing, Spoke backing off, not looking to make the move into here. Oily pushing a little wide through the corner, Spoke getting a better run out of it.
As Mist slowly falls up on the track.
Where does the power of that Supra come into it? Right there. Oh, Spoke having a look. And there it goes. There it
Oh
goes.
my God.
Bye.
That's just a turbo kicking in.
Its 6th gear is so good, it's just... there's nothing that Spoke can do to get by. He's right there, though, to make a move under braking here. He's coasting off, though. He's just happy to settle for now.
At this rate, I'm confident that underneath that GR Supra is a 2JZ with a big single turbo.
2JZ, no
Oh, yeah!
Tate coming through that sector timing marker is 4.1 seconds purple.
Holy moly.
Coming
looking
up
at
to
an
the second
8.25
carousel, that
then.
front left tyre has seen better days, but it doesn't have to do too much more. It's got about 5 corners
the
to
battle
navigate.
for 5th is also over. Broken Spoke just lost it.
Yeah, that's damage for Spoke. That could become a battle for 6th between him and Midrisky. Here we see the Nissan on the straight. I'm assuming the Nissan is going to drop quite a bit of time down the straight here, up by 2.9 through the first sector marker. We'll see how much that changes as he comes under the bridge here.
Did Flossie have another off? Because his MCD is only 2 seconds now.
No, that's about what the gap was.
Okay, I thought it was 7 seconds.
Alright, so I am riding on board with Tate here as he's coming through. He's lost a whole second on the straight, which just shows the power of that Supra. But with just 2 corners to go on the brakes, there's one nice and easy through the second. 32 seconds to spare for Tate as he comes onto the start-finish straight here. He's going to take out the final race of the season. Flash of the headlights. Congratulations, Tate. Well driven. And he puts in an 8:04.6.
And it's 2 seconds on the dot faster than the previous purple lap.
So Jonesy Jonesy down on his best by 7.7, so will not be a winner for Jonesy. But well driven for second. Last corner, here we go. And there it is. So Jonesy locking in second place. Very well driven again. Congratulations to Jonesy ending out the season on a high. Flossie with 2.3 seconds back to MCDC.
And not
He's
much
going to hold him off.
And not much tyre left, though.
Yeah, those rears. One mistake in these last couple corners, and it could all go away for that final podium position.
He's had a couple off already in this lap, so stay on with Floyd.
He's already coasting. He's off throttle coming in here, nice and cautious. Don't want to be too cautious, though. MCDC 1.6 seconds behind now on the power. Oh, he's given up the spot. Flossie's given up the spot to MCDC, which I think is silly, and I'll be telling him about that. Please just finish the race. This looks terrible. Oily takes 4th, Spoke 5th.
I think he's having some celebration and eating donuts there. Div 2 champion there. Not helping the team leadership forward there, but Div 2 champion, why not? Have a bit of a celebration in front of these compatriots here in the commentary team.
Yeah, but I would imagine Dragon won't be happy about that.
Yeah, he's
team championship.
He's just given spots to Scuderia, 13R, and TDR that we're in direct competition with for the team's championship. So, not happy with that one. But Midrisky comes home in 6th. Flossie eventually crosses the line in 7th.
Dodgy coming home over the final straight here. Must be loving that he knows it's nearly over.
How much time do we have left? Timer?
Not much. Dodgy is 2 minutes 51 off the lead. So Corbin's probably not going to finish. Dark Berserk is just going to finish. So we're going to see Dodgy come home in 8th. Darth Berserk's closed that 32-second gap to 5.7 for 9th place is going to be his final result, and Corbin is finishing in 10th place there.
And as Cassandra says, thank you so much for the extra points there in YouTube land. Well, that is a disappointed Dragon there, but congratulations to Tate coming from dead last and finishing first, with Jonesy in 2nd place and MCD in 3rd.
Yep.
That's why I'm so disappointed, guys. Div 2 is now over. They're happy. They can relax. They have the
off-season. We're in a direct battle for 3rd in the team's championship is why.
And I'll be honest, Flossie, looking at Flossie's performance, it's not giving me some confidence coming into the Div 1 race.
Look, we have to stay tuned for that. It's going to be an extraordinary battle with the Division 1 championship up for grabs. If Apex takes it out, Chris has to finish in 2nd or 3rd place, or it'll be all over. Again. So,
as much as I love rounding out this stream on some suspense, we've got 20 minutes before the start of our race, so I'm just going to take this moment to give a big thank you to all of our sponsors, Hybrid Ag, 180 Embroidery, AMS Excavations, Per Mobile, and our major sponsor, Jade Finance Australia. Thank the both of you for joining me here in the commentary box, ZD and Chris. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Dragon. Thank you, Chris.
It's been an absolute pleasure delivering visuals for YouTube Land this season and this year.
Yeah, and for the final time this season, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to wash your hands.
And watch out for single breakers in your shower. Until then, take care.